Welcome everybody to WIC Live. Sorry we're starting a few minutes late today. Our apologies, we had a faulty HDMI cord, but here we are. We're discussing all things Eastwatch. I am Kayla Dan here with our winteriscoming.net editor-in-chief Dan Selke, and our cultures editor-in-chief Gwen Purdom is back joining us today. We're happy to have her.
Hey guys.
How are we doing?
We're doing pretty good, Kayla. Eastwatch. We're back to full-bodied size episodes after last week's kind of quick 50-minute. This one was a little more sedate, I think, after last week's giant battle blowout, but a whole lot happened.
There was a lot crammed in there.
Almost.
So much I had to keep rewinding and playing again and paying attention, yes.
And hi, everybody out there. Good to see y'all. I think we're starting a little bit late. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, queries, let us know in the comments and we will respond. All right, guys, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's start at the very top with Daenerys Targaryen, the aftermath of the loot train attack, which is what HBO has named that battle last time. Which I think is kind of like an underwhelming name, but...
Yeah, also the train is not like the heart of that. Yeah, no, I don't like that name.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. What do you think of them resolving the big cliffhanger with Jaime Lannister sinking into the water by just kind of... They're okay.
They're fine.
I mean, I think it was kind of indicative of the whole episode. It was just like a lot of like, yep, this.
You're kind of right.
Yeah.
It just started so quickly.
It's like, yep, well, we got that out of the way. Let's go to the next thing.
I mean, I don't know. It's like you have a cliffhanger like that. I feel like you have a...
Thank you, Richard. Very cool.
This is very beautiful.
Yeah.
We're right around here where the battle
Clear and
happened.
crisp.
So yeah, it was resolved really fast. I don't know. When I have a cliffhanger, I get a little annoyed if they don't like kind of follow it up in a way that...
Leave you hanging a little.
Well, not leave you hanging. Like, I feel like if you set up that big of like a mess for the characters, you have to give us like a real solution, not just, and then they're fine.
Did you not like that they addressed it right away? Would you?
No, actually, no. I also hate that.
Okay.
But I just wanted
felt
like...
a little cheap in terms of like...
Everything's fine.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, have it a little bit more. You know,
Okay.
It's a little Walking Dead Glenn kind of situation.
Yes, I would have liked it worse walking it again. Remember, like when the first episode of the last season, like they dragged out the what happened with Negan smashing the head thing to like the middle of the episode. That was awful.
Yeah.
So I like that they resolved it. I did like Braun's conversation afterwards, where he was like, "You can't die. You haven't paid me yet.
Right.
You die when I say you die." That was cute. Kayla, what do you think of the Jaime and Braun survival fest 2017?
I mean, I liked it. I liked that it was quick. They got out of the way. There were no questions.
Right.
I was upset about Dick undying.
Let's talk about that. So Daenerys
They
gathers...
introduce a new hot character and then take him right out.
It was pretty good. And this time, his name, he was able to say his name without anybody laughing.
Great.
That's been nice for him.
Nobody on screen.
No,
I think a lot of
everyone at
viewers
home.
were giggling.
Okay, so Daenerys gathers the surviving Lannister soldiers. She gives them an option: bend the knee or die. Which, is that really an option
No.
when there's... Okay.
She's like, I don't want to kill, but if you don't follow me, I'm going to kill you.
Okay, Scarlett, you were upset. Do you approve of Daenerys' actions here? Do you think this is a justifiable, just thing she's doing in line with what... I mean, she wants to be, you know, a good queen. Is this what a good queen does?
I think, more with Tyrion on this one. I don't think death was the answer. He
Right.
suggested putting them, you know, in bars or like in silence for a few days, and she's like, nope, that's not my style. Let's just kill him.
Well, and I thought
Death
they
by
made
fire.
an interesting point in the little recap with the showrunners afterwards. And then I talked about like it's unfair to Dany that she's held to a higher moral standard than Cersei is.
Right,
Cersei.
that's true.
But
She has
at
to
the
be
same
moral.
time, like, doesn't she want to be held to a higher moral standard? Like, doesn't
Right.
she want to be the queen of the people? I feel like she's not setting that example. Like, she's going down to Cersei's level, and that doesn't set her apart.
I agree. If you want to be, you know, the change you want in the world, you have to, if I can get quotey with it,
Walk the walk.
not to walk. I mean, I understand that she's been frustrated
Right.
with, you know, that she lost Olenna, she lost the Dornish, she lost Yara, and she finally won one, and she was excited, but I don't know, it's not really an excuse to go all homicidal on people who don't support you. Yeah. And I think the show is behind that, because the way they kind of framed the death of the Tarleys with them like holding hands before, and Randall Tarley had that nice moment where he's like, he shouted down his son, like, don't follow me, you idiot. We were
I
kind
feel
of
like he didn't want to. The whole time, I thought for a second at the very end he was going to pull away or something, or say like, no, I'll bend the knee, but...
I mean, it feels like she's making martyrs a little bit. What's that? What did you tweet?
My husband and I last night were discussing, and we used the phrase "crispy Charlies" at some point talking about the episode, and then we were talking about whether that's like a band name or a side dish, or it's just kind of a funny phrase. Sorry, Charlies.
Sorry, Charlies. But it's interesting that I kind of like the Charlies the most in their final moments.
Yeah.
And it feels like she's making martyrs a bit, and I wonder if that will catch up to her a little later.
Perhaps.
Were you guys pro or anti Daenerys frying Sam's dad and brother? Let us know. Come on, see here. All right, and after that, Daenerys flies back to Dragonstone, and we have a moment where she lands, and then the dragon gets right up in Jon Snow's face, and he doesn't flinch. He kind of gives it a nice little pat. What did we make of this, Gwen?
I mean, I think that's a pretty dramatic backup of what a lot of people talk about with Jon being a Targaryen, and that the dragon is recognizing that Targaryen blood in him, and that he's maybe the father of dragons, if that's a thing.
Whoa.
Also, can I just throw in there that I'm just really happy that the dragon's okay, because I was really scared last time that he got
still
shot,
flying,
and he seems fine. So, phew.
No, I agree with you. Of course, we all think it was okay. And Kayla, do you think, was Daenerys impressed that Jon didn't back down?
I was going to ask you this. I think so. But do you think she caught on to anything with that? Do you think that she was like, why isn't he attacking Jon? What is going on here? Why is he so?
I mean, if she did, she didn't let on.
Okay. She did have a look in her eye. I didn't know what that meant. I think was she just like kind of surprised that they were taking to each other nicely?
I wasn't sure. I think she must have been. I wonder if she was like full of testosterone after her battle and was like, he's gonna bend the knee now when I like walk up the big dragon with her, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And it must have impressed her a little.
Moment instead, and it kind of was that vibe of people sometimes trust their dog's instincts over their own.
Right.
If my dog doesn't like you, I'm not gonna like you, and it's the same kind of thing. Like, maybe Jon's okay after all.
Exactly. Are either of you buying? There's been talk about Jon Daenerys romance, looking into each other's eyes a lot nowadays. She kind of fished for information about his death and resurrection. He didn't quite give it. She's like, the dragons are beautiful. And he's like, yeah, they're great. Are you buying that this could go somewhere romantic?
I would say the only moment that I felt that was with the Yora thing, where like they cut to Jon and he like looked upset that Yora was there when they were reunited. Or am I saying the name right?
Jorah.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's switch on to that.
Well, I was just going to say, I think we're kind of getting into like a little love triangle with these three. And I don't know what it's going to develop, but when she was saying goodbye to Jorah, he kind of looked a little maybe jealous. But then Daenerys and Jorah kind of had a moment when they were holding hands. And I'm like, what is happening?
Well, I mean, Jorah has been in the friend zone since the beginning of the show.
Right.
It's always been platonic between those two.
She seems more compassionate towards him now.
I mean, well, they've been through a lot, and I mean, they've reunited and parted 3 times in as many seasons. It just keeps happening with those two. He's finally cured, and he got a hug, which was nice. I liked that. Well, I mean, was there any diminishing returns with this?
I mean, it was kind of a bummer for him that he's like worked all this time to like cure himself of a disease and get back to Dany, and then it's like, okay, see ya.
Right, I thought so too.
And devoted to her.
He'll do
anything.
Yeah.
Kenny says that I think Jorah kind of knows there is chemistry between Jon and Dany. I did notice that when Jorah came back, he like kind of gave Jon a bit of an eye, like, oh great, another handsome guy I have to hate because he's with Daenerys a lot
There's
now.
a little stare down.
A bit of a stare down. I'm not
I
sure.
am not pro Jon and Dany
Why not?
because it's weird.
Because of the incest?
Because of the incest.
Does it make a difference if they don't know?
No.
I mean, it's still weird for us. It's a little less incestual than Jaime and Cersei.
Yeah, I mean,
to nephew.
Yes, it is less incestual.
Separated by generation.
I mean, there's a whole question of, not that this makes it any better, maybe it does, that in a weird way, like incest is almost normalized on this show.
Yeah.
Not normalized, but like, it's bizarre. There's no other show like this. It's a weird world. I don't think it makes it better, but Targaryens
people
are.
their cousins all the time. Ever
What's
heard
that?
of Downton Abbey, Matthew?
I mean that's not like untrue, right? Even on a show, even in like our recent history, cousin marriage wasn't that weird of a thing. I'm sure it still goes on in some places.
Victoria and Albert, they were cousins.
Right? And yeah, they were? Okay.
We're learning all kinds of new things today.
We are.
Fun fact.
Danny's brother is John's father. Yes, he is. By the way, let's pivot really quick, because that came up, the issue about John being the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark in Sam's scene.
When Gilly got mansplained.
Gilly got mansplained?
Well, Gilly was just
break it down for us.
So yeah, I did catch on to that. Was she getting into that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
She kind of
The lineage.
revealed a big spoiler of like the lineage of the Targaryen family and John's father and mother being married. So maybe he's not actually a bastard after all.
I mean, I don't think he would be, because so it's Sam, college dropout now, in the Citadel, and they're reading over those giant scrolls he's copying. And Gilly, just being curious and newly literate, is like reading everything, and
Right.
Sam's trying to just copy everything, get it done. And she finds a random scroll that says, the High Septon back in the day annulled the marriage that Rhaegar Targaryen, Daenerys' older brother, had to Elia Martell of Dorne, so he could marry him in secret to somebody else. Now, I like this for a lot of reasons. I like this because obviously we know more than they do. We know that that is to Lyanna Stark, and that means that not only is Jon Snow not a bastard, he's the rightful heir to the Targaryen throne.
Whoa.
Only no one knows that right now. Kayla, do you think if that comes out, would Daenerys, who's all into the titles and her long stream and taking the throne because it's hers by right, would that upset her?
Oh, yeah, this is really going to put a damper on her plans. She's all high and mighty, wants to take over the world, and that's just probably not going to sit well with her, I would imagine.
too.
But yeah, like you were saying, when she was coming across this, like Sam wasn't even there paying attention. He was just like all about himself and in his own world. So I hope this comes out. Like I hope it comes to light.
I mean, are you annoyed at all that it's kind of being strung along for this long? Because we've known that John's the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna since the end of last season. And no one else, Bran apparently knows, no one else in the show has been told. And now, I loved how they just slipped it in there, though. I loved how it went just over Sam's head.
That's another thing I had to rewind. I was like,
great.
what'd she just say? What was she reading? I was like, wait a second. I think she's getting onto that.
It's almost like they're poking fun at
Ignored
us.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you're talking about stringing it along. I feel like they've been cramming so much into these episodes. Like, if they would have put that in there too, it would have been like too much. So I like that they mentioned it, but like. they're gonna
I did too.
Put it in
I liked
later.
it because
We'll
it
resolve
came off like as a joke almost,
Yeah.
like not a big heavy reveal. I mean, Sam was ignoring her completely.
Classic dude.
He had some things on his mind. Bran earlier in the episode up at Winterfell
Still need to get that
sent
pointer.
out. It's kind of fun though. Get some exercise in. Sent out ravens to go beyond the wall and look at the Night King and his army of the dead marching on Eastwatch by the sea, which is there. And then he sees them, sends out letters to all corners of the realm. One gets to the Citadel, and Sam kind of overhears the Maesters debating what to do about it. Kayla, what happened in this scene, and how did Sam react to the Maesters' decision about what to do about the letter?
Well, obviously he was very, I don't know, he was just very adamant about the fact that yes, this is real, we need to be on guard, we need to do what they say, like I've seen them with my own eyes, this is happening, and they're like, oh, calm down, like we'll weigh our
Silly
options
Sam.
here and see what to do. But yeah, that obviously didn't sit too well with him.
Is he right to be angry about it? I mean, should he give
Yeah,
more
I mean-
allowance to the fact that, I don't know, that it's hard for people to just buy that there might be zombies out there?
But
Like,
I think to the degree of how violent they are and how scary, and the
Right,
fact that he's
it's
seen them
serious stuff.
firsthand, I think he was, I would be very vocal about the fact that we need to be aware of these, they're coming, we need to do everything we can to prevent this from happening. I think he has every right to be that upset about it.
And I feel like Sam has evolved as a character in terms of like getting more assertive and being
Right.
more confident, and
Right.
he's been right before now, so they should give him a little credit. Like he was right about the grayscale.
That's a good
like,
point.
Give him,
True.
give him a chance. Listen to him.
and then he broke into the restricted section, took a bunch of scrolls, and just went out of Dodge. Gwen, did it work for you at the moment where he was kind of looking at the library and wistfully thinking,
I mean, that broke my
never
heart, 'cause
again?
that's like the pretty, like if I had access to that library, I wouldn't want to leave either. But no, I like it. I like strong Sam standing up for himself, going for it.
Was he just taking books at random?
I mean,
What was that
doubt
about?
it. Because remember, he was in that section before in the first
Okay.
episode. He broke in to find
The Dragonstone,
Dragonstone
cave
thing.
Right.
So I imagine he knew kind of what he was looking for.
Did Gilly take her book too? I hope.
I'm sure she did, because they had to have that point come up later.
Right.
It was another point where I kind of wish they stretched out. Like, I wanted to see Sam enjoying the Citadel a little more before he hightailed
least
it left.
respecting
Like a
it.
little bit.
I mean, can you really enjoy it after everything he's had to do at the Citadel with the bathrooms and the grayscale? It's been kind of a gross experience for him.
All we saw was the bad stuff. Surely there was some point where Sam just like enjoyed looking up all his favorite books or nerding out over some old volume.
He had a nice time reading with Gilly and Little Sam.
He
That was
did.
sweet.
That was pleasant. But this is the end of Sam's time at the Citadel. Kayla, where will he go next?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know where he's going.
We're down here in Old Town, and he's leaving for somewhere.
Where do you think he's going?
Where do you think he's going, people? I think he's probably going back to John. I mean, because what he wants
All
to
the way
do.
to the north?
Why not? I mean, that's where he came from. It took a while, but it took a whole season for him to get down there. But
it
I
takes
mean,
a lot faster now.
it does. We're going really quick. I think he's. I mean,
got a horse and carriage.
because what he wants to do is fight the White Walkers and be of use. And now he has some scrolls that he thinks might help. And he's come to the conclusion that these bureaucrats aren't going to do anything about it.
Right.
So I think he'll probably go to the north, or if he knows where John is, maybe to Dragonstone.
Well, and if he and Gilly are going to where John is, and they've got that scroll that has that, maybe that'll come up again.
True.
About the truth about
Somehow.
his heritage.
Wouldn't it be funny if it just never came up?
It's just like throw that in
If
there.
just the rest of the series we never
I
found
don't
out.
think dedicated fans would be a big
No.
fan of that happening.
Melanie Rose McCoy asks, why isn't little Sam growing?
I didn't even notice
He's a
that.
pretty big baby.
What?
No.
How?
I
What?
thought he was.
What season was he born in?
Season 3, he was born.
He's like the size of a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
That's fair.
3, 4.
for a while he didn't grow. He
Yeah.
was a baby for like several seasons. Now they actually got like a 3-year-old actor to play him.
Yeah.
I mean, actor, whatever you want to call child actors at that age. I don't think they really have a say in it.
I mean, he's also a product of incest. Maybe he had stunted growth.
Good point. That's an excellent read of it. Michael Hernandez thinks that Sam's going to Winterfell. I probably agree. See, I'm going to read this comment sight unseen from Janine, and because it looks interesting, Capechi. Simple but also hero's journey pattern, which Martin follows to the T. Danny keeps asking about the knife in the heart comment, and that leads me to believe she will see the scar. Only way that happens. I think she's talking about Danny finding out that John has been killed and brought back to life.
Well, how will she see the scar? Romance scene?
I was thinking about that. I mean, if Danny's gonna see the scar, wouldn't that mean that John just have his shirt off? Which means things could get steamy.
They're gonna go back to the cave.
Back to that cave. I love that cave. All right, let's move on to a section I entitled Dysfunction Junction, the Lannister family. Because no one does dysfunction like the Lannisters, in my opinion.
No one.
Although I enjoyed all the scenes with them this week.
Yeah.
We started off with Jaime marching into Cersei's bedroom and just telling her basically, we can't win this. She has a dragon, she has a Dothraki horde, it's bad news, we need to pull out. Gwen, how did Cersei take that news?
I mean, she took it as Cersei would take that. She doesn't want to listen to anybody else, just herself and what's important to her, and she thinks she's the most powerful. I mean, didn't someone say at some point that Cersei thinks she's smarter than she is?
Yeah, that was Tywin.
Yeah.
Who she name-checked a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, I think
They talked about
she
that
wants
a
to
lot.
be,
Our father.
she was like, we had to fight him how father would. I
Right.
think she kind of hero worships her father a
Yeah.
bit, even though he didn't think a whole lot of her.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm totally on Team Jaime here. He's absolutely right, but I think Cersei's going to get them into some trouble here.
I don't doubt she will. I kind of like her stones. Like, you know, she's not backing down. She says, like some line was like, our choice is to bend the knee or die or fight and die. You know what my choice is? And I was like, you go, Cersei, a little bit. And then later, Jaime and Tyrion have a reunion.
Yay!
First of all, why is Tyrion trying to reach out to Jaime, Kayla?
He wants to coordinate a meeting between Cersei and Daenerys.
Right. In part to, because I think they're starting to buy into Jon's whole spiel about the
fight
army
the
of the
White
dead
Walkers as
coming.
one.
Right. Did you buy that plan? So they had that little meeting where they were like, okay.
Glad he didn't split him in half, first of all.
I was too. That would have been anticlimactic and also sad.
Yeah.
Do you buy the idea that what their plan is? That, okay, so these army of the dead are coming, we could keep fighting Cersei, but maybe it's better to get everyone on the same page to fight these guys?
Well, it's a good plan in theory. I don't think that's going to happen in any way. I don't think Cersei would allow this to happen.
I mean, she is willing to meet them.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and don't they have ulterior motives with that too? That I forget what they said
Yeah,
exactly
she said
about they're
something
trying
about-
to get like that will allow them to have access so that they can fight Cersei.
She kind of, I mean, what I took from that was that I think Cersei wants to buy some time because she's buying mercenaries from across the Narrow Sea.
Right.
So I think she's thinking, okay, let's meet,
Stall.
and at least, yeah, during that time it won't be fighting, so maybe I can buy some time to get my mercenaries across the sea, which is a smart move. But so Tyrion meets with Jaime. Gwen, how did their reunion go?
I mean, I have a soft spot for their relationship.
Me
just
too.
because,
I like
and
both
I
of them.
thought Tyrion's acting in that scene was really powerful when he started
too.
talking, getting emotional
Very, very
about his
good.
dad, which was
He gave like that
quick.
teenager line, like, do you think I asked to be born or
Right.
asked for this?
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah,
like
it was really
when
good.
he says it, it works.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like their relationship. I like any relationship on the show where there's like affection and sweetness and love, like is rare because everyone's so like against each other. So I really like that relationship, and I'm glad we got to see it again.
And it too.
I forgot what Tyrion said. He even made a joke, and Jaime like tried not to laugh, but you could tell he wanted to laugh.
Yeah.
So there's still that.
Oh, I think it was like I'll split you in half, but he's like, it'll take you a while with that practice sword you have.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. I liked it a lot too, and I love Dinklage's acting.
Yeah.
I thought because he looked kind of pleading, like he still loves his brother, and they're on opposite sides, but he wants them to have a good relationship.
Right.
But Jaime's understandably upset.
I mean, even going back to last episode when Tyrion was watching Jaime run into the dragon's mouth, I like that moment too of just like he still clearly cares about his brother and doesn't want him to be hurt.
Right.
And Jaime, didn't kill him like he promised, so I'm thinking maybe Jaime still has a soft spot for him too.
Right.
Otherwise, he would have gone through with it. What else in that scene? Although I will say it's another scene of several this week I wished were a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're fitting so much in. It's like you can't really focus on one scene because they're too short.
This episode was the first one I really felt like that was happening. Like the last four, I don't think they seemed like they were rushing. There was just a bunch of points this week I was like, I wish we had more of that.
Yeah.
The Jaime Tyrion scene was definitely one of them. And then let's see if we got any comments here. Oh, okay. Danny points out about that Cersei is pregnant. Jaime is the father. Let's discuss that because that's could have some big ramifications. So after Jaime meets with Tyrion, he goes back to Cersei and tells her he met with Tyrion. So that's good of him. He didn't keep it from her.
But she
Kayla-
says she already knew.
She does. She already knew, and she let
she
it
didn't-
happen.
Yeah, she didn't stop it. I was surprised about that.
Why do you think that is?
I'm sure she was probably curious as to what Tyrion had to say.
Sure.
But the fact that she didn't meddle or intervene in any way surprised me.
Me too, a little bit. I have two theories about that.
Okay.
I think the first one is, like she said, she is interested in meeting with Daenerys because wants to stall for time, and if they're going to arrange it for her, why not? The other thing we've always heard about Cersei is, like, the only redeeming quality she has is she loves her kids. Maybe she learned she was pregnant, and then had let our brother come into King's Landing and meet with his older brother moment, like a moment of little mercy.
Maybe.
Gwen, what do you think?
But then they were talking about, then she was talking about Tyrion having killed her son, and then Jaime corrected her there, which I thought was a big moment too, of like, I didn't think he would
Right.
actually tell her that Olenna killed Joffrey, but he did.
But that was before
Right.
the pregnant reveal.
Sure.
So
So
she
that
was
may
still
be
in
another reason.
hard
And
as
In
she
nails
terms
knows
mode.
of
this-
like, she's mad at Tyrion,
Yeah.
and now she knows that he didn't kill
Right.
Joffrey.
Do you think Cersei is capable of, warming up to Tyrion or forgiving him
Probably
for
not.
some things?
She's
Probably
not a real warm, fuzzy kind of person.
I mean, he also did kill their dad. It's not like he's blameless here.
Right.
But anyway, Cersei being pregnant is this good, bad, disgusting what, Kayla?
True.
Oh yeah, there are some fans who think she's faking it to manipulate Jaime.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that one. Well, we talked about this
take on
before
that?
we started, but we all thought how the reveal was super cheesy. That's what I do after every meal.
Yeah, me too.
This.
Yes, it's gross. Yes, it's weird. I didn't know the truth thing, so that's a new element.
That's a theory. I think she is pregnant.
The only reason I thought that could be like that she is faking it is because of like that hug at the end when she's like, "Don't ever threaten me again," or whatever. "Don't ever betray me
That was a little
again."
odd.
Which I felt
'cause-
like, okay, so like, is this all a like way to control Jamie? Like, are you threatening Jamie? Like, oh, I have a baby, so now you can't do anything. Like,
I think she's pregnant and just is also manipulating him. I think she can do
Could go
both.
either way.
But if she is
Absolutely.
pregnant, could it even be his? I know she said it was, but is it possible that it's someone else's? And
was
she's
there
just,
Urons or
else in the
something?
picture?
Urine.
Oh, you just blew my mind.
I mean, I'm
Little
just throwing
eyeliner
things
baby
out.
coming.
Maybe I'm just taking it to face value. I mean, we saw them have sex in a disturbing
Right.
scene if she like kills a lady and then goes immediately to have sex with her brother.
So the evidence is there.
I think it's his. I had one other question that I completely forgot about Cersei. Oh well.
Well, Jamie was like, "What about the people?" And she's like, "I don't care what they think."
Oh yeah, and then they talked
Right.
about like they made a lions and sheep analogy, which was interesting to me because I was thinking about Arya's whole line about the wolves and the sheep, and I was just the comparison.
I mean, that line was a direct Tywin quote from an earlier season.
Right.
There's a comparison to the sheep.
considers themselves the big animal versus the sheep.
In the comments, people seem to be going back and forth on whether she's really pregnant or not. So it's definitely a hot debate. Just like a little vote. Is she really pregnant? I say yes.
I'm gonna go no, just to be.
Ooh, interesting.
different.
I don't know.
You had to
I
break the
can-
tie.
Oh shoot!
So much pressure.
I'm gonna say no.
Interesting. Okay, we'll see where that goes.
Women are
soon
crazy,
enough.
Dan.
Oh, the one last thing I wanted to say is the whole line about like "don't betray me." I don't know. I was like, he didn't really. I mean, he didn't know he was going to meet Tyrion.
Right.
Bronn set it up, and then he came to you afterwards.
Right. He did like the best that he could have done.
I mean, I guess he could have like killed Tyrion right then and there, or cut the meeting off without actually taking it and then going to him. But I don't know. Overall, he did come to you. It's not like he betrayed you that hard. But Cersei
She's a little
is
sensitive.
pretty. She's a sensitive lady, and now she's pregnant. So
Hormones.
hormones, exactly. All right, let's move on to Dysfunction Junction 2, the sequel, the Stark Sisters. I really enjoyed that name. Up at Winterfell, where we have some family tension between Sansa and Arya Stark. Gwen, why don't you just run us through kind of what happened between the two of them first?
Well, I mean, they reunited last episode, which was exciting for everyone, but it was a little guarded. It was a little awkward.
It was definitely not like on the emotional embrace you from
No.
across the room like Jon and
Arya
Sansa
didn't even
were.
wrap her arms around Sansa. It was like very.
They hugged twice. It's not like there was no affection there,
Right.
but yeah, it was definitely
a little
kind of
cold.
muted.
Because we're in Winterfell. Anyway, yeah, so they're back together, but now we're starting to see little pictures, and even last episode they were hinting at this too, of like they're distrusting each other. So Arya last episode was kind of making fun of the fact that Sansa is Lady Stark now, and then this episode she was giving her a hard time for liking nice things and taking their parents' chamber, and she's you know, she thinks she's too cool for school, and then she was kind of doubting her leadership and not standing up for Jon enough, and so they're kind of setting up like there's a little bit of a rift between them, and Littlefinger sees that and just jumps right in, because if he can put a wedge between them, that gives him more power if he can have Sansa come running to him instead.
Yeah, it was what they said in the after the episode thing, that if he can do that, yeah, it'll make Sansa want to go to him for advice rather than to her sister.
I
Or
think she's smarter than that.
that was my. I'll ask you about that, Kayla. By the way, just really quick about the comments. Yeah, don't talk about spoilers in the comments, guys. Let's keep it, you know, open for everybody. Those who read spoilers and those who don't.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
What spoilers?
Yeah. Are we giving spoilers right now?
No, we're talking the episode.
Okay.
I mean, there are spoilers out. It's no secret that there are spoilers out there.
Oh, I haven't read any.
Oh no.
So I don't know.
I mean, I have, but I'm keeping it under the lid, and we ask that you do the same if you have read the spoilers. So
So she is pregnant?
I can't tell you. Or she's not pregnant. The answer is
the
out
two.
there.
So the Stark sisters.
Oh yes. Sorry. Back
So
on
my
track.
question to you, Kayla, is did you buy that Arya would be suspicious of Sansa? Because there's that scene in the meeting hall where the lords, who it seems like were stirred up by Littlefinger, because then you see him later meeting with two of them, and those were the two who were like, Sansa, you should be the Lady of Winterfell, not Jon, he's the absentee king. Sansa's there and gets a little bit up in her face for not defending Jon harder. And she kind of accuses Sansa of, you want to be rule Winterfell yourself, don't you? Do you think the suspicion is justified?
Maybe a little, just the fact that she didn't stand up for Jon as much as she could have, but at the same time I realize how she's wanting to keep the peace because they need those people there to help them. But yeah, I don't like what's brewing at all. I don't want them to butt heads or get on opposite sides of this. But I like you said, I think they're smarter than this. I think Littlefinger, thinks he's playing them. I hope that it turns around and it's really the two sisters playing him instead. I hope that's what it gets to later on down the road. Because I don't think they would let him get in the way of
I
sisters.
Hope they would overcome him. It seems like Arya really is suspicious. And I will say, I did kind of like when she was like, you know, I
She
can
always surprises us though, and I think that's what's going to happen. She's
That's a good
smarter
point.
than she leads on, and she always comes out on top.
Arya or Sansa or both?
Arya.
Both.
Cool.
Both.
Both,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, she did that thing where she just looked at Sansa and she like intuited, like, you're thinking about it, which I kind of like because it was a callback to her House of Black and White days. Remember when they would like slap her for lying because they would know? I feel like she's using that exact same thing on Sansa. Like Sansa does kind of think about that.
Right.
After all she's been through, she wants control and security and power. And Jon is an absentee king. But I just don't know why she hasn't done anything. She's still staying true to Jon.
I mean, I would say it was understandable. Like, the idea that they would be suspicious of each other is understandable just because they've been apart for so long and they have changed so dramatically.
They have.
And don't know what the other went through specifically. Like, I could see her thinking, like, oh, Sansa, likes fancy clothes and likes our parents' room. But, Sansa's been through a lot and is super tough and is super smart and, you know, she's being underestimated. And I would understand Arya thinking, I'm really tough, I'm an assassin. But Sansa's really tough, too.
I mean, they just need to talk. They need to have a long talk what they went through.
Chat.
Just communicate. Just talk, people. That's what happens. Then later, Arya is tailing Littlefinger, which is a good move because that guy's up to something. Go ahead and tail him. And she had a fun little Batman moment where she's like there, and then he looks there, and she's not there. It's always fun. What did he lead her to, Gwen?
A little hidden scroll in a mattress.
Hidden scroll in a mattress.
That they flashed to, and you could see some words of it, but it was a little unclear.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was.
Do we recall what it was?
I went back and paused it to try to read
Sure.
it. So. But yeah.
I only know because you told us.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. So the letter it's the letter that Sansa wrote to Robb way back in season 1, after Ned was in jail, and Cersei kind of browbeat her into making a confession, saying that Ned's a traitor, come and bend the knee. And you know, she was a little girl. She was still
easily manipulated.
Under the impression that Joffrey was a nice guy and thought she was doing the right thing. Easily manipulated. And I think I remember back in season 1, the Maester immediately knew, look, she wrote this, but she's obviously, there are words being put in her mouth.
Right.
Although Robb needed some convincing. Now, the implication here is that Arya, I think, is going to read this and use it as more fuel for the fire
Thinking
to
that
distrust
she's a
Sansa. Is that where this is going, Kayla? Can you see that happening?
That's where I was under the assumption it was going. Because that would definitely separate them, knowing that she went against her own father. Why wouldn't she go against her brother?
Okay, yeah, it could work.
I didn't understand why that scroll would be in a mattress. Why?
Arya,
why
how
would
she even
Arya,
found it.
Why is Sansa keeping this scroll in a mattress?
Oh, that wasn't Sansa. It was Littlefinger had the Maester go through the old Maester's archives.
Right. No.
Find that letter. Littlefinger put it in his mattress, not Sansa.
But why would Littlefinger have it in his mattress? It just felt like, well, clearly someone planted this, for you to find. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, obviously.
I think the implication is that Arya thinks she's finding where he hid it, and really she's finding where he kind of left it. So you didn't buy that? You thought that it seemed like an obvious plan?
Why Littlefinger would have that scroll at all in his mattress, and what, he clearly took it. I don't know, it seemed weird.
Oh, you mean
shady.
you don't know why? I mean, it gets twisty.
Yeah.
Like why Arya would think Littlefinger would want it in the first
Right,
place.
absolutely.
Okay, maybe because Arya thinks that Sansa and Littlefinger are working together and that Littlefinger's trying to remove that evidence.
Yeah.
It just seems so obviously planted, I guess, to us.
That's what I'm kind of.
I mean, she was tailing him, and he knew she was tailing him,
Right.
and made a little show of getting the scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her
it does
training
seem.
makes her smarter than this, and she realizes that he's playing her.
I hope so too.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Frankly, the whole plot is kind of rubbing me the wrong way a little bit. I hope they get over it and, like we said, are smarter than this and can move past it.
Right.
See what people are saying. He's trying to play Arya, says Robert. Yes. We all agree that he's scheming and trying to get them to go against each other. Will it work? We'll see. All right, next up, we have the return of a long, sundered character named Gendry Waters.
Gendry.
Not seen since season 3.
Looking fresh.
Looking fresh? He looked pretty good. He got a haircut.
He did.
Look at that buzz thing they all get. Davos and Tyrion stuck into King's Landing, Davos being a smuggler by trade, so he was able to get him in there. And then Davos goes looking for Gendry. Why did he go looking for Gendry, Kayla? And
He's one of the good guys.
He's one of the good guys. And they didn't know each other back in the day. I don't know, I watched it and I was like, I don't know, like...
Was it just like too obvious of a plot to bring him back, do you think?
I don't really understand why he would go look for him.
service, like-
It felt a little fan
Yeah,
servicey
like,
to me.
we want Gendry back.
Like I like the character, but I don't know. Like, would Davos?
Well,
Is he that amazing that Davos just
Yeah.
has to go find him and bring
I
him
don't know,
in
he's
the
got a
fold?
pretty sweet hammer.
He does have a nice hammer, but Davos couldn't know that.
Right.
But he does.
Yeah.
He goes.
So.
Gendry's looking well, and immediately decides to go off with Davos.
He's like, yep, I'm ready, let's go.
Let's do it.
Waiting for
Doesn't
you.
even need a pack.
Which I kind of bought, 'cause he had that speech about, like, I'm preparing for something. I don't know what, but I knew it was coming. So they go off. He smashes a couple guys in the face with a warhammer, which is fun.
It was fun.
And after
They
they get
had
back,
a real fun little ruse with the dumb guards. The guards in the Seven Kingdoms in general need to like up their intelligence level. They're easily tricked.
and
They're
they are
like,
coming in
That whole
pairs
scene
this
was
season.
kind of fun. I liked it.
I did too. Okay, here's another weird thing. Like, so they cut off the Tyrion Jaime scene, but they have time to go into like this whole ruse about fermented crab being an aphrodisiac, which was fun. I liked it, but it's just I'm watching it and I think a
Priorities.
little bit. I don't know. Why couldn't you put more into that? But then again, I did enjoy the scene, and I liked Gendry whipping out the hammer,
Yeah.
and I liked Davos' whole ruse.
Yeah.
And the dumb guards come in pairs. There's that dumb pair at Winterfell last
Yeah.
week too. So Gendry's back, and then Gwen, he goes to Jon Snow, introduces himself. How do these two get along?
They're best friends
They're
instantly.
besties.
Bastard besties.
Bastard besties.
Yeah, they had an instant connection, which was fun, and everybody was excited about on social media.
I love that Davos was like, don't tell anyone who you are, don't say you're Baratheon. First thing he
Instantly.
says, I'm the bastard of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, bam.
Nice to meet you.
He
I
knew
mean-
it would bond them.
And it did. It totally worked, because their fathers were buddies, and now they
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
are. I suppose so. He seems so eager. It's another little complaint I had, a little nerdy complaint. Like he was never that eager of a guy. I just feel like they're bringing him back in part because they want to bring him back, not because they need to bring him back. But I do like having
They're
him
going to
around.
bring him back into our lives so they can just kill him off.
Yeah.
Who do you think is where it's going?
Probably.
Because now he's going
to do
north.
that.
Seems how it all works.
He's going north with John and company to hunt a white and bring it back.
He's a good level of we care about him, but not enough.
That's a good point.
Yeah. He's at a good killing level.
They are stacking the red shirts pretty deep on this white hunt up north. So that final scene is they go up to Eastwatch by the sea. Right
Okay.
there. Which is where the Army of the Dead is marching. So the idea is they're going to go north, find a white, and somehow bring it back. And we have a lot of characters coming together here, which means a lot of people who could potentially die.
And I don't like that because I like all these characters.
All of them? Okay, so let's do a roll call quick. We got Jon Snow.
Love.
We got Tormund Giantsbane.
Love.
Who asked about whether the big woman was coming, which was cute. We got the Hound.
Love.
We got Gendry.
Love.
These last two, though, come on. We got Beric Dondarrion.
The other ones I don't really care about.
And Thoros of Myr, aka the guy who's been died and come back a bunch of times, and the dude who resurrects him. So those 6, it's oh, and Jorah Mormont.
Love.
Okay, there you go. And Davos is not coming north. He's going to go back to Winterfell, I assume, which is probably for the best. Do we like this whole wild bunch thing we're about to get?
Like Justice League, or like some like all the heroes are coming together with their rings and like I don't know.
See, like,
Fight the bad guys.
Yeah, super friends.
look, I love this show. I do. It feels a little contrived. I'm sorry. Like they're all coming together, and we have
Dan did not like this episode.
I was a little miffed at a lot of points. I'm sorry. I don't know. We have
they're
like
pushing pretty hard on a lot of things. That
see, yeah, they're pushing.
Yeah.
And I can feel them pushing.
We're running out of time.
And it's bothering me a bit. I mean, like we have like the shots of the 6 of them, like in like Avengers formation,
or like
and it just
like the hallway of like an NFL game, like
right.
coming
They're
out
going
to
through
jump
the
through
tunnel.
The thing.
Like Mean Girls walking down
Yeah,
the school
absolutely.
hall.
They're gonna play Missy Elliott next. I wish
They are the
would've
new
played
Suicide Squad. It's Michael Hernandez. Although
We should do our own version.
I totally missed Missy Elliott comments. I was reading the comments. I'm sorry. I bet they were great.
It's just Mean Girls references.
Oh, cool. Their interactions were fun, though, because a lot of them have problems with each other. Again, it's kind of like a cheesy, of course they do, so they can like then bond and get over them later.
I liked that scene. I was laughing out loud. I thought it was funny.
Which is
Them
good,
all
and
going
that's
ping-ponging
great.
back and forth about why they don't like each other.
Because Gendry doesn't like the Brotherhood because they sold him Melisandre, and Tormund doesn't like Davos because, no, I'm sorry, so many names. Tormund doesn't like
I'm not even gonna try to
Jorah
figure it out.
because Jorah's father was Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, who
And
hunted
then
wyverns
he
for a long time.
Clapped back at him and was like, "Yeah, you fought back too." So
Yeah, so bad blood all around. And then
Hound
John,
didn't like someone.
the Hound doesn't like anybody. The Hound was just like,
love
shut up, let's go. Like the Hound just hates everyone, which was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because that seemed like the least contrived, because he's always hated everyone.
I mean, it did feel contrived, but I also do, like I said before, like anything on the show where people are like friends and they're not killing each other. It's like,
And I'm sure
adds
that'll
a nice
happen.
balance to all of the
It was
intense
fun.
violence and hatred on the show.
Am I complaining too much, people? I might be.
Let
Let
us
me know.
in. I did like how it was kind of maybe a foreshadowing of people who don't like each other coming together to fight the White Walkers,
I'm sorry?
the bad guys.
It's hard to
How all these people who don't like each other and have all these differences are coming together to
That's true.
go get a White Walker.
I mean, that's been a kind of a running theme with like the whole council with Olenna and Dany and all of that, Ilaria. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of coming together of unlikely pairs.
But remember, when they
groups.
came together,
didn't
before
go
too
well.
long, Tian was dead, Alara's in a dungeon, Olenna poisoned to death,
Yep.
Yara captured, Theon,
There can
I
only be
assume,
happiness for so
stewing at
long
dragon.
on this show, and then they go and kill everybody.
So I doubt all that crew will make it out of whatever's coming next.
Guessing not. I'm nervous.
What are you looking forward to, dreading about next week, Kayla? It looked like they're going north of the wall. I'm sure they will encounter some hairiness.
Yeah, well, first of all, to see who makes that out alive.
Sure.
And if they get a White Walker, if they bring one back, like they're going to do. Pardon the sirens. And then I'm also curious what's going to happen between Arya, Sansa, and Littlefinger. What's
Me too. I want to see that resolved.
brewing up there?
And I hope that Sansa and Arya team up against Littlefinger.
Yes.
Yes, I hope they're smart
That's
enough
the
to
idea,
realize
yes.
that he's playing them.
Yeah.
I'm dreading that's not going to happen,
Arya
but I hope
always
it's gonna
has
happen.
that like hero moment, so I feel like that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I just hope they, I don't know. We'll see about that.
I also want to find out more about Cersei's pregnancy and that whole.
And spoilers.
Yeah.
When it's happening. Yeah. My bet is, I wasn't a huge fan of the episode. It feels to me like this was set up for the last two are usually the ones they really focus on. So I'm betting they had to get through a lot of setup, a lot of quick rapid fire setup to get to the big set pieces they want. Is what I'm hoping and betting on.
I bet you're right, Dan.
Me too.
Same.
Let's see if anybody has anything to say in the comments. Ooh, Matt, long Greek last name. Will Jon run into Benjen north of the wall as well? Benjen Stark, his undead uncle. Good, that's a good bet, because he is out there fighting the White Walkers.
True.
Another character who can die.
I mean, would that mean anything or do anything, or just be like, hey guys?
I mean, Jon's always wondered where he went. Like I think
Like, he
Benjamin.
doesn't have any secrets to reveal or like plot points that he would be
I guess not. I guess it would just be emotional.
Okay.
Although going way back, because I mean, I think
Family
that
reunions left and right.
because Benjen was the guy who got John to go to Nightwatch in the first place. He took him up there. So they were close 7 years ago. We'll see if that still like plays if they meet. Carmen agrees with me that it was a little too rushed. I kind of agree with you, Carmen. But Vanessa thinks that Ep 7 is going to be epic.
Of course.
And I'm hoping for that too. Any other closing thoughts, guys?
I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
All right. This is fun, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week, Monday, 10
we know the
o'clock.
title?
We don't. Episode 706. H keeping it close to the chest because it doesn't want anything
Dysfunction
getting
Junction,
out.
I think is what it's going to be.
Dysfunction Junction. I would love that, yes. They probably are watching this right now and haven't even named it yet. So
Well,
just
there
pick
you
that
go,
up.
guys. You're welcome.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Join us next week at 10 a.m. Central Time, Monday, for more Wick Live.